Hey everyone, Amy Bowser-Tennant here, the Genealogy Reporter, and it is Genealogy Thoughts Thursday. That's where I share my opinions and thoughts on things happening in the genealogical community. Today's topic is the difference between attending a genealogy conference in person and going virtually. So, some thoughts on that. Well, first of all, I think lots of us would agree that at least slightly our genealogy conferences have dwindled in attendance. Why is that? Well, I think the bottom line is money. That's my opinion. I don't think that's the only reason that attendance has dwindled, but I think it's a big one. Let's take attending a genealogy conference on a national or state level and look at that a little more closely. So the registration for such an event might run you anywhere between, say, $150 to $200. That's just for registration, for a full registration for the event. Then you have the cost of traveling to and from the venue. That might include airfare, gas mileage, bus ticket. Then you have your hotel stay. Generally speaking, a big conference will be 2, 3, 4 days, so there's usually an overnight stay. I like to stay close to the venue, and so sometimes that can increase my hotel bill a little bit. It's a little more pricey to stay closer to the venue sometimes. So you've got that cost. It's especially costly when you don't have a roommate or 2 or 3. Parking. It costs sometimes to park even at a hotel. I recently had a situation where I paid $28 a day to park at a hotel I already had reservations for. So sometimes that can blindside people. You've got your food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. You're going to be hungry. Okay, so there's that cost. And then, of course, you have the expo hall. I don't know about you, but it calls to me. I want the jewelry and the t-shirts and the books and the charts and the pamphlets and all the little goodies that you can find there. And so you go home having had this wonderful genealogy conference experience until the bill comes. And you see just how much money you spent on this conference. You start wondering, maybe I shouldn't go to as many genealogy conferences, or maybe I should try the virtual option. So let's talk a little bit about a virtual genealogy conference. Now, to give you some comparison, we told you that a genealogy conference in person might be $150 to $200, whereas a virtual conference might run you anywhere between $50 and $100. We have an upcoming genealogy conference virtually through Virtual Genealogical Association in November, and they're charging $59 for a 3-day conference if you're a member of VGA, or $79 if you're not a member for a 3-day conference. That is amazing. Now, when you attend a virtual conference, you're attending from your own home. So there's no travel, unless, of course, you have to travel to your local library to use a computer or the internet. There's no hotel stay. You're staying at home in your own bed. Food, you're eating the food that you already bought. A nice thing about virtual conferences, too, is that if you accidentally planned something for such and such a day, you're not going to be able to join in on the sessions for that day. Generally speaking, you can log in at another time and watch the conference or lectures later. So there's a little more freedom and flexibility. At a conference, especially a large conference, whether that be a state level or national level, a lot of times you've got a really popular speaker and the room fills up and you don't get to go to that class. Well, that doesn't happen in a virtual conference. If you want to listen in on a certain class, you're going to be able to do so because many of them are recorded and archived. In fact, you can go back and watch them again. So virtual conferences are very attractive. I think especially to people who have difficulty traveling, ailments of any kind, mothers with children still in the home, and they're cheaper. And, you're getting the top education from top speakers, even at these virtual conferences. Now, which do I choose? Well, I like them both for different reasons. I absolutely love attending a genealogy conference in person because I get to talk with my friends. The genealogy community is quite friendly, and we get together for dinner in the evening, and we visit, in the expo hall and compare and our treasures and so forth. So I enjoy the camaraderie that comes from attending a genealogy conference in person. I also enjoy the expo hall. When I think of expo hall, I think of Roots Tech. And if you haven't had a chance to go, it's amazing. I mean, there's just no other way, no other word that describes Roots Tech. But that expo hall in itself is a learning experience. It is absolutely wall-to-wall technology, information, anything you can imagine about genealogy and family history. And so you're not going to get that from a virtual standpoint, that expo hall where you can look at the newest books available or talk to people one-on-one or things of this nature. So that is something to consider. Genealogy conferences have been around for a long, long time. And the virtual genealogy conference is new. And I think that sometimes we get hung up on the technology involved. How do I log in? How do I know it's going to work? Am I going to be disappointed? Well, the thing is, times are changing. A lot of things are going virtual. A lot of things are happening on our computers. And there are tons of people who are ready and willing to help you, to show you how to do it, to tell you what to push, when, and so forth, so that you can log in appropriately to the online virtual conference. There's always directions available, very easy to read. So if you have a computer and a relatively good internet connection, anyone can then participate in an online virtual genealogy conference. Now, along those same lines, there are a lot of what we call free webinars. Let's talk about what a webinar is. So a webinar is a lecture or discussion that's held online, sometimes pre-recorded and sometimes live, that you can watch. Now, there are just dozens and dozens of these that are available for free on a monthly basis, sometimes even on a weekly basis. I personally have a blog post that goes out the first of each month entitled Free Genealogy Webinars for the month of whatever. And I have links there that shoot you over to these different places that offer free genealogy webinars. So where that is just a one webinar situation, you would just watch one lecture instead of several over a period of days, that might be better for you. Maybe your time is such that you really only have an hour to dedicate to genealogy per week or per month in the way of genealogy education. So webinars are a great opportunity for you to learn and participate in what is new and upcoming in the genealogy family history community, but still not get tied down to several days of lectures and also any cost at all. Like I said, many of these webinars are free. Another option for you, have you heard of family tree webinars? Family tree webinars has been around for quite a while, and they have I'm going to call it a webinar library of over 900 webinars, top notch, okay? Best speakers in the world for genealogy, numerous topics, anything you could possibly imagine. And each week they offer free webinars, and you can watch those free webinars up to a week after they have been published or put on live. Then they're archived. Now, those archived lectures and webinars are available to members for a subscription. Now, this subscription to over 900 top-notch lectures is $49.95 a year. That is awesome. Let's just think about that. How many conferences would it take for you to watch 900 lectures? A lot. and you're getting it for $49.95. And if you're really lucky, you might watch the website or Facebook or me on Instagram, and I'll let you know when it goes half price. That's even better. So there are so many ways that a budding genealogist, or even one who's been doing it for quite some time, can to continue their genealogy education, whether that is attending a genealogy conference in person, a virtual genealogy conference, just watching free webinars, or subscribing to family tree webinars. If you're interested in any of these, you can take a look in the information details box below, and I'll have some links in there. I'm anxious to hear what you think. Do you prefer genealogy conference in person, or have you tried and do you like virtual conferences better? Maybe webinars are more your thing. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for joining me on Genealogy Thoughts Thursday. Don't forget to join me on Genealogy Tip Tuesdays and Family Story Fridays. Also, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye-bye.